Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again. It's Friday, TGIF. Got a bunch of things going on today. Today's going to be hopefully a great episode because it's the end of the week. You all want a nice episode on Friday. And we have a repair. Good friend of the show, John Fix. We hooked up. John is working on a great project and he allowed me to kind of put a 2 cents into his project. So I'm really looking forward to that. We'll get to that later on in the program. We also got a restoration, a couple things we want to get started, and let's get started right away. Now, I guess by now you know that I'm kind of a fan of pliers, and of the pliers I like. I do enjoy the slip joint variety, and I always have. It was one of the first tools I was allowed to use as a kid. Might have been the first tool. They're hated by almost everybody, but when you think about it, there were so many different varieties. And here's a lot I got on eBay not too long ago. I paid $30 for this lot, and there was 9. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pliers. So that works out to less than $4 a piece. So when you think about that, you say, well, you know, some of these pliers are only worth maybe $1 or $2. But actually, I was looking for this one here. Very unusual, you know, shape. It's got that elongated shape. I mean, look, they're all slip joint, but almost every one of these has a different shape to it. You know me, I love the asymmetrical. This is a Buffalo Barcalo, and I love the asymmetrical of these pliers. Then you have the thinned out style. You see here the thinned out plier style. Now you're looking at this here. This has the unusual handle embellishments, which you always have to look for. And the reason is because, for example, you see these, look at these. You see that looks like arrows on there. Now you say, well, I wonder if I've seen those before. Now this pair of pliers here is, believe it or not, quite collectible. It is a Channellock 347, and this is their small alignment, but I do collect, I like the ones with the arrow, you know, the early Channellocks before they had the blue grips. This here is, again, and they called them, the early ones were a Champion Diamant out of Meadville, Pennsylvania, and you can see here the Channellock logo. These are kind of their battery pliers, but this here is what we're going to do today, these 347s, because I will be doing a lot of these, but some of these don't need too much work, like this one here. You know, this one don't need a lot of work, and this one here, it is Chicago, USA, you could see, so it's not like a cheap brand, but again, with the thinned out jaws, there's so many different type to collect. But let's work on these early Channellock with the arrow handles. Okay, here we are. Step 1 is we took it to the wire brush. Now, there's no sense in hitting all this with the wire brush because you're going to be going over it with the flap sander because you have to get out those minute pits and staining, okay? But what you want to do is you want to get inside all the letters, the numbers, okay? Because you won't be able to do that again. So we do that there with the wire brush. And also the other areas like under here, you see with the wire brush, there's teeth there, you see? There are teeth on there. You get under there with the wire brush. In the jaws, you use the Dremel. Get all in here, you see that? With the wire brush, get all that first. And now, and especially here, because we want to, you know, you get all in the rust and everything out of, anything that's in those grooves. You do that with the wire brush. The rest, we'll do with the light flap sander and then the belt sander. So it's coming very good, although it's, you know, there are rusts and staining and pit marks. We'll get rid of that. Now I want you to pay close attention and see why positioning is so important when you're trying to get a good finish with the flap sander. And that's why this 700 Stanley vise is such a gem to have. And you notice how I keep repositioning it, and I'm using a draw stroke to pull down and get that finish that I'm looking for. It's all about positioning. Okay, now that was the grinding stage. Now we got rid of all the pits. We dare not go any deeper over here because we got to keep these letters, even though there's some minor pitting there, which, you know, annoys me. But there's really, when you, that PA is very faintly stamped. So, but you see, we did all this with just, and we didn't touch up here yet, but we did all this with just a worn 120. Now, you see there's no lettering back here. You see how nice that came out? But now we're going to take it to the belt sander. And again, we did this with a worn 120, so we're going to have to go with a finer grit because now we got to get rid of all, if you see here, you know, this is all sharp now because we had to take off the inside. The inside was all pitted, really bad on the inside. Had to take all that out. And now we have to blend this all in so that it looks like a new old stock pliers. Right now it just looks like a Frankenstein pliers. So we'll blend all these lines and do that with the belt sander. Okay, next up, while the paint is drying, you know I'm not a tool snob. And, you know, there are some people that are, but I'm not a tool snob. And every once in a while, I'll find a tool at a dollar store or something that I always wonder, how could they do it at that price? And I thought we'd talk about this one tool I saw that I thought was pretty interesting. Let's check it out. Okay, now this is the tool I saw while just walking down the aisles of the Dollar Tree. You know, the Dollar Tree, it's a chain of dollars. Now it's $1.25, but they still call it Dollar Tree. And what this is, you can see it's a screwdriver set. And I was intrigued by it, so I bought it for $1.25. And let me show you. It has a screw-off top here. And it exposes a handle. Obviously, you know, we know it's a cheap plastic handle, but, you know, it is a handle, and it has a variety of these small bits. Now, you know, a lot of the times these bits will come in handy because these are the smaller ones. And today with all the electronics, sometimes they might have a small screw that holds on a battery case or something. And they're not terribly hard screws, you know, usually they're soft. So a lot of times you struggle trying to get the right size Phillips, especially in here. They have you can see it's a small bit set here. You can see here the quality. It's a regular steel, you know. But I always wonder, how do they make this at that cost? And you can see it snaps in nicely. You know, it's magnetic, so it doesn't come out. And again, it's a nice little set for the money, for $1.25. You know, if I gave you a challenge you to make a screwdriver set for $1.25, you couldn't get the materials. So you can see what type of blades they have, and a lot of these will come in handy for certain things that, you know, again, like I said, with electronics and stuff, you don't have to worry about where you need that high-end, you know, you need a bit that's going to be super strong because those screws are usually Chinesium anyway. And speaking of which, this is what the label says, and this is the back, and you can see it is made in, surprisingly, China. But I thought it was pretty interesting. $1.25 screwdriver set, Dollar Tree. Now, you know my favorite part. Remember what these Channellock pliers look like before we started. And we're calling this project done. This is just a... I just wanted to bring this one back. And you can see what we did here with the lettering. You can see Channellock 347, Meadville, Pennsylvania. Was able to keep all the lettering. You know, the minute pitch, there's just nothing you could do when you get a pair that's too far gone. But I want you to notice we smoothed out. Remember, the last time you saw it, we just finished with the flap sand, and now we took all and refined everything with the belt sander. And look how beautiful that is. That's just the way it came from the factory. It comes just like that. With the handles came out real nice. The inside of the handles, really nice. Little Scout Crafter red in the arrows, you know, to make them pop. Beautiful pliers, you know. These are a nice size, nice in the hand, nice looking pliers, similar to the Kleins, you know. And again, 347 arrow. And let's give them a try, see how they work. I didn't do any sharpening or anything on them, but we'll see here. We'll put it in. We got our zip tie for the test. You can see we got a nice cut, nice snap. You know, that's what we want to hear, that snap. And a nice cut. So they do cut, you know, when the jaws look good like that, and there's no sense in messing with them. One thing I did want to point out over here, I cleaned the inside out. I always wipe this out with a little 50-50 mineral oil and Vaseline, you know, to go over there. And the teeth look real good. Look how nice those teeth and sharp they are. So this one's in the can. This was a fun little project. And again, the arrow, that's the key. The Channellock arrow. You when you see these, grab them. They do get collectible. Okay, that was a fun project, and who doesn't like a nice pair of linesman pliers, especially vintage Channellock ones, right? Next up, I promised you some footage of the repair job that I helped John fix with, and I really had a great time doing it. Check this out. I did this early in the week and saved the footage for today. Check it out. Okay, next up, my good friend John Fix. We all know and love John. John was working on a great wrench. He got this really rare and unusual wrench from the 1800s, and what happened was, and I won't go through everything because he's going to have a video on this that I'll leave a link to at the end of this video, and you could go right over there and see him work on this wrench and fix it the right way. But what happened was, he was trying to take it apart and all of a sudden this broke off. You know, it was a kind of a weak point here, and it snapped off. And because it snapped off, now John was in a fix, like John Fix, on how to get this to work. And there's a lot of different ways. He was going to draw it out, try and pin it. But, you know, I said, John, and he contacted me, and I said, we were talking about it. I said, John, I would love to take this on the lathe and try and do it up. And he's like, oh, I appreciate it. So he sent it to me. Here it is. I was really looking forward to this. This kind of projects I love to do. What we have to do is fix this, okay? We could make another one, but it would kind of look out of place. And plus, it's an Acme thread. They're a little bit more difficult to cut. But what I want to do is I just want to join these two pieces mechanically so that they'll be strong and it will work fine. So let's do that now. Now we have to do duplicate jobs on both sides, one on the knob and one on the threaded portion. Here we are center drilling the knob, and then we're going to go up in drill sizes until we get to the number 7 drill, which you can see here, the black drill, which is what you use when you're tapping something 1/4 by 20. Here we are doing the same operation now on the threaded portion of the fix, center drilling it, stepping it up in drill sizes until we get to the number 7 drill here for 1/4 by 20 tapping. Now we're going to tap it here. We start off in the lathe, but we finish off in our vise. We get the thread straight like this, and then we tap it into the vise. And you can see this is me removing it, and this is a very enjoyable operation, especially when you're working with a beautiful tap handle. It just goes so easy. Okay, this is the fix, and what we did is we drilled and tapped out both sides here about an inch down into here and right up to about 1/8 of an inch before the top of this crown, and we'll put that threaded rod in, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, you see here is our fix. Okay, now that gets screwed in there. We're going to put we're JB welding that threaded rod into both sides so that will never move. But you can see there, that's an acceptable fix. It's the original bolt that will go into here. And then there's a pin that holds it captive, which goes around there. And so we'll send this back to John. And you got to check out his video to see how awesome this wrench is and how he finishes it up. I'll have this in the mail, and hopefully I won't put this on the air until John gets it ready, and we'll do it the same day. Awesome job. Okay, so in closing, a couple projects done today. A Good Friday episode. Now I'm going to put the link in the description. Go check out John's wrench. I'll tell you the truth, I haven't seen it yet myself because it's coming out on, today, Friday. So I haven't yet to see it while I'm making this video. I'm really excited. Let's go check it out. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care now. Bye-bye. Okay, that was a fun project. Who doesn't love a nice pair of